September 8th, September 8th, 2024. And yeah, I was talking about findings from the bottom of, well, yes. I like to say we dive into rabbit holes and every day we dig them deeper, but no, that's not true. I don't think I'm at the bottom of the rabbit hole on NFTs yet. So, anyhow, Unicorn Mint, innovative and entrepreneur. Wanted to say engineer, but I've done a lot of engineering too. Um, Yeah, Unicorn Mint is the latest LLC I'm starting up, and I'm looking for working partners. But we can have that discussion somewhere else. One of the things I'm finding that very popular, evidently, and I imagine profitable. I mean, I was talking about Snail Trail. They're a good example of a gaming NFT vendor that's been at it for over a year, maybe 2 years. And but then there's others. People are minting like say 1,000, just an image, just a placeholder. Or in one case, what I'd like to do is I think there's one called like Money Machine or something like that. And it's just an image, an animated like a GIF. I don't know. We need to figure out what they're using for animation. um, we want to try to move beyond gifts if we can, but it's just a machine thing that's cranking out like cash or whatever. And it's like 1,000 images of that they're selling. That's it. That's all they are. And people they won't even have an image sometimes, but they'll just throw an image in there, and that's all it is just one image. Oh, that was an interesting one that I came across. I forgot what it's called. But what their thing is, and they're doing the collection thing of different colors and patterns and stuff, mostly colors, I think, which is low hanging fruit, definitely. But it's a picture of a croc. Now, I'm not going to show you my feet, but my footwear for the last few years has been a couple of Crocs I bought years ago in a thrift store, probably Value Village. And I didn't even know they were called Crocs. I just decided to start wearing them. And that's my footwear typically these days. So that was interesting. There's kind of synchronicity there. But evidently, there's a fan base for Crocs. Um, Thinking of UGG, UGG out of Australia, the boots. I had a domain one time that was targeting that. And uh, uh, I don't know. People seem to love Uggs. But anyhow, but you want to be careful you don't step on rights. We work in intellectual property, and we're not going to tolerate those that step on our rights. But we also don't intend to step on anybody's rights, not intentionally. And there's always techniques. As an entrepreneur, you can always do spinning. And all of our team members should be well aware of how to use spinning in their work. Yeah, so snail tail is kind of like our gold standard. That's what we would aspire to be. But the markets are here now. We can just crank stuff out. Which brings me back to Unicorn Mint. Okay, so one of the collections, because we're going to be releasing 4 to 12 collections every month. And I've gone from monthly to annual to having annual collections um, with specific targets in mind. But we can just, and in fact, I want to say logo, but that's not a good way to go. But our branding, whatever our branding symbol or icon is. Icon might work for, like, say, 2024. We just mint up like 1,000 of those. And an idea from a recent YouTube is we should be able to set it up kind of like a vending machine. So maybe, no, actually, what we'll do is we'll release like 100 of them. But the NFT can access a D app that can auto mint more of them. Because we don't care how many are out there. Because the more that are out there, the more our branding is getting out there. See? And then probably we could make another D app that brings them into our sales funnel, so to speak, which by sales funnel at this point, I would probably say Unicorn Mint Outlet Store, which would be our DEX or DEX. Okay, so that's an easy one, and so what we do is every year we get a new icon that's in the collection, and therefore over the years things become collectible. Okay, so but also the paradigm, metaphor, model. Anyhow, I'm starting to call it Unicorn Mint Factory. Trying to build a factory because it's not about any one of these NFTs. It's about a pipeline. It's a pipeline, a continual flow. So so another collection could be the Unicorn Mint Factory, which I'm taking that idea about the money machine, and so each year we'll come out with an animated image that's and I'd like to make it silly like a Rube Goldberg machine, if you know what those are. Make it fun, make it silly, make it collectible. Make it collectible. Man, that's very advanced. But what we can do with that is if you own a Unicorn Mint Factory, then it will pay you, it'll send to your wallet a few or some portion of this month's releases. How cool is that? Okay, let that sink in a little bit. How well do you think it would sell if we're saying, well, if you own this NFT, you can access this D app that's going to take whatever is the current release tokens and send you some participation. Participation. Anticipation and participate. I'm tempted to write that down. Write that down for me, will you? Or put it in the comics below. Bazinga! uh, as far as I know, I don't have comments enabled, and I don't intend to. That's not the purpose of these recordings. So there's two very powerful branding collections we can mint anytime we want to get to it. Because that brings me into the concept of stubs. And that comes from my systems development and programming. I've programmed a lot. And you learn when you to put functions in as stubs, you don't have them ready to put in the program. And that allows you to test your user interface, but also as kind of a placeholder. Um, in Web 1.0, you typically probably would have seen that. It would have been like a 404 error or a landing page that says, under construction or something, we don't have it yet. There's nothing here yet. But come back later. to which a lot of websites never had anything to go back to. Anyhow, stubs. So yeah, so we can release NFTs as stubs as long as we've done our smart contracts right. We can fill in something later. And who gets the attention? Well, logically, it's driven by the most profitable, right? Hey, we're really bringing in money with this Unicorn Mint Factory idea. Let's expand on it. Let's get more serious about it. Let's give it more capabilities. Um, poss- well, I'm thinking possibly even free games. That is, that Unicorn Mint Factory, you could, for the factory. Oh my God. So another value added we could put in it is tour the factory, which is you can go through a curated batch of games that we're opening up for free. Um, that is to say, you don't need to go buy that DApp that allows you to play that game. Now, within games, games are a D app, but D are for us. That's yeah. We won't get into D apps. That's a whole another rabbit hole. Very important. But NFT, so they can either get in through Unicorn Mint Factory ownership, or they can get in by buying the released NFT for that game. Which one of the game projects I'm working on quite a bit. We can call it WizTow, but that's probably not very good for trademarking, so that's more of a code name. But we can go with Wizards ampersand uh, Towers and trademark that and make it the game. So I've been working a lot on making a lot of notes on that. So the point is, how do you play Wizards and Towers? Well, let's bounce.